Chicago's state's attorney, Kim Foxx, refused to charge a man with murder, and now he's involved in a shooting of 3 more people. Woke prosecutors that are being funded by George Soros are becoming a serious problem in America. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome. Thanks for being here. Let's get into this. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx refused to charge a man with murder. And now that he's out on the streets, he was involved in shooting 3 more people. Back in December, law enforcement tried to get Kim Foxx's office to file murder charges against Ishmael Simpson for murder. All right. They were turned down. They claimed that the police needed more evidence, but the cops confirmed that they had plenty of evidence, including a photo of the victim testifying against Simpson's gang on the phone. The police had no choice but to release Simpson. Is it any wonder why there's so many shootings in Chicago? Now, I used to do stories each week on the shootings and murders inside Chicago. People started writing to me saying, please stop, because that's all you seem to be doing anymore. There was at least between a dozen and 3 dozen shootings each weekend, and it gets worse in the better weather. Okay. In fact, there's so many shootings that there is someone that keeps this site. He's maintained it for years called Hey Jackass. It's heyjackass.com. Now, he has here October to date, shot and killed 11, shot and wounded 50, total shot 61 people, total homicides 11. Folks, that's for October. It's only the 8th of October. There are 11 people who have been murdered just in the first week alone. Now, check this out. Year to date, shot and killed 505 people in Lori Lightfoot's Chicago have been shot and killed this year. Shot and wounded, 2,350 people. Can you believe? Total shot, 2,855 people. Total homicides are 558. Okay, the difference being people who were murdered not by guns. Okay, but this guy has had this site up for a while now. And if you go up there, you'll see all the stats. Chicago it's like a war zone there anymore. So the problem that we have is Kim Foxx is the state's attorney. She was funded by George Soros. All the George Soros prosecutors are causing mayhem and havoc inside their jurisdictions. But if you remember Kim Foxx, she's the one who tried to whitewash the Jussie Smollett, the hate crime hoax. Okay, she spoke with his family, and then she tried to keep him from going to trial. Well, she was eventually ordered that she had to stop handling the case herself because she was just so biased, okay, in favor of the criminal. And so he did go to jail after he was charged and convicted in court. All right. But these Soros people, these prosecutors, they need to be stopped. And the only way you can stop them is by either recall if that jurisdiction has it, which they did out in California, but also at the ballot box. Now, because George Soros isn't going to stop. You see, he said he doubled down, as a matter of fact. He doubled down back in August. This came up on 15 News, NBC. It says Soros doubles down, says he will continue to back liberal prosecutors. Now, they cut him a break and called them liberal. They're not liberal. Liberals and conservatives can get along because they share the same goals. They just have a difference of opinion of how we go by it, okay, how we reach the goals. But the left completely changed the game. I mean, the woke left came in, and we have nothing in common with them. So it says here, in a Wall Street Journal op-ed, billionaire philanthropist George Soros doubled down on his intentions to keep working to elect reform-minded prosecutors. And he challenged his critics who have blamed him for spikes of crime on the policies that they put out. He said, quote, I have supported the election of prosecutors who support reform. Now, when George Soros talks about reform, he's talking about equity reform. Okay, the argument is, now he's just using this for other nefarious means that I'll get to in a minute. What he's saying is that for far too long, black Americans and people of color have disproportionately been charged and prosecuted inside these jurisdictions that he's getting these woke prosecutors elected. Whether that is true or not, the answer is not to hire prosecutors that are going to let the criminals go. Now, you think about it. many of these criminals, if not all of them, are committing crimes inside the black community. These are just a few people, a few bad apples inside communities that are hardworking, God-fearing Americans, and they have to live with the consequences of George Soros's prosecutors. He says, I have done it transparently. I have no intention of stopping. Yeah, he doesn't have an intention of stopping, and it is the American people's right to stop him at the ballot box. See, the old adage is in blue jurisdictions, the candidate that spends the most money wins because they're the one that gets to get their message out. Look, conservatives and liberal Democrats should work together on this. It's a common cause that they can work together on to say, look, we got to get rid of the prosecutors that Soros is putting up. Either they do it by saying he can no longer fund them, which I don't think they can because that's a First Amendment issue, or you just get the message out to the community saying, look, this candidate here, they have been funded by George Soros. You don't want them because they're going to make your life a living hell in your neighborhood and your community. Okay, that's what needs to be done, and it's not being done. So step it up, people from Chicago, people from New York, people in Los Angeles. I mean, you have all these in Philadelphia. You have all these Soros prosecutors like Kim Gardner, for example, down in St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, during the Summer of Love George Floyd riots, you remember that this was the couple, the McCluskeys, who they had rioters who broke through a locked privacy gate onto their estate and with the intentions of trashing their property, possibly them. Well, they came out onto the front lawn bearing their guns and said, get the hell out of here. This is private property. You're not allowed here. So Gardner, Soros-backed prosecutor, instead of prosecuting a single person that that trespassed on private property with the intent to commit harm or violence, property damage and whatnot. No, she goes and charges the McCluskeys, okay, for exercising their Second Amendment rights. Her message was, you don't get to protect yourself through the Second Amendment because this is what's going to happen to you. Now, eventually, I believe the Attorney General stepped in and he either got a pardon for them or he threw the charges out. But still, this is what the Soros prosecutors are doing. The best way you can stop crime in America right now is to identify to the communities who these Soros prosecutors are and warn them and say, look, this person is not going to be good for your community. You do that, and a lot of these neighborhoods you'll see the crime go down because, like Chicago police, they appear to want to do their job. They want to take the bad guys off the streets. Okay, but they're being told to stand down. They're being told, well, we can't prosecute this person. Well, why not? You don't have enough evidence. How about a video of the crime? That's not enough evidence. I mean, this is what's going on. Okay, it's intentional. So you get rid of the Soros prosecutors, and you're going to see crime go down. It's just that simple, and that's in jurisdictions all across America. Okay, that's it. Thanks a lot. We will see you in the next one. Thanks for spending this time with us. You can read all of our stories at rpwmedia.com, where you can send us news tips on stories that you think we should be writing about. You can also join our newsletter, where you'll get the latest commentary and opinion by our writers. Take care.